Well, Quebec was very different in a lot of ways. There was much more of a respect for a diversity of tactics in Quebec City in the organizing. It was much more loosely organized. I think the actions in Seattle were much more structured in the way they were organized, and we tried to really come up with a major plan together on exactly how we were going to stop these meetings from taking place. I think in Quebec City there was a certain amount of, fascist over-preparedness to make sure that those meetings would continue, and people realized that they probably would not be able to actually stop the meetings, and they decided that a healthy disruption of those meetings was necessary, and to confront those meetings in any way that they could was a mandatory need for the continuation of our freedoms and life as we know it on this planet. That recolonizing South America, Central America by the United States is not a program that is gonna be allowed to continue. There's a thing called the Monroe Doctrine. It's an old presidential decree that all of the Americas are under the sphere of influence of the United States, and this is like the culmination, the fulfillment of his imperialist dream of controlling all of the Western Hemisphere. And I think we have to put this to an end now, and stop the killing, and stop the U.S. control over this entire hemisphere and its attempt to control this entire planet. I think people in Quebec were well aware of the U.S.'s attempts to control not only their economy but their people and their environment through the failures of NAFTA and the obvious benefits that came from it to U.S. multinational corporations. And the most glaring example would be the Chapter 11, where corporations were able to sue the Canadian government for having environmental laws, for having labor protections. People came to the fence and they had to tear it down. There was no way that that fence was going to stop them from expressing their belief that everything that the FTA stands for has got to fall. And that fence fell down, and the police had no recourse but to attack us with a perpetual cloud of poison. And that was their solution. And I think more and more you can see in the streets of Quebec, hiding behind walls, the return of a feudal system with armed guards standing at the moats trying to keep the peasants at bay because they want to turn us back into serfs. But we're not going to let that happen. And I think people showed that in the streets of Quebec. And when people were attacked in Quebec City, they fought back.